Yo, in this video I'm going to be showing you everything you need to do in order to create a fully functioning voice agent for your business or your client's business. We're going to be using GoHighLevel to build this voice agent, so if you want to use that for yourself, I've linked my affiliate link down below. You don't have to use it, but it's very much appreciated. To give you some context, this is what we're going to be covering. First of all, I'm going to be going over the front-end setup and the whole process of giving it a name and all that stuff. Then we're going to be creating a knowledge base, which will be the brain of the voice agent so that it knows everything that it needs to know about your business or your client's business. Then we want to connect tools, calendars, give the agent some actions to maybe transfer the number. After that, we want to buy and connect a phone number. I'm going to be showing you how to do that as well. And finally, we're going to cover how to deploy and hand over the voice agent to your client. But first, let's get started with the front-end setup. Just a quick note before we start this process. If you are creating this voice agent for a client, you might want to create a sub-account for them first in GoHighLevel so that it's more organized and can easily be managed afterwards. But let's get started with building the agent. So what you want to do is head down to the tab that's called AI Agents and go to Voice AI. Click on the blue button up here that says Create Agent. And this is the first overview where we want to change the front-end things. So we want to give the agent a name, select the business name, select the language, the voice, and the LLM model, and time zones, and all that stuff. For this example, I'm just going to be building a personal customer support agent for my business called Loopy AI. I'm going to name the agent Casper, and I'm going to say Loopy AI, that's the business name, correct. We're going to be selecting the language English. I want a male voice, so I'm just going to go over to gender and select male. We can also select the accents, but I'm just going to stick with the American. Down here, you're going to be seeing all the different voices available in GoHighLevel. You can sort them by like by me or high quality. I like this one very much, so I'm just going to be selecting that one. For that, just press it and click Save Voice. Now it is saved and we can listen to it again.
Hey guys, here's just a more casual, kind of relaxed.
Now for the time zone, you want to think about where your business is located. For example, I'm in Denmark, so I'm just going to be selecting the time zone called Europe Amsterdam, because that's the time zone I'm in. But if you're in the US or a different time zone, just select that one. If you're unsure of the time zone you're in, just simply Google it and say, like, if you're located in New York, just search for New York time zone. You say it's Eastern Standard Time, just go back into GoHighLevel and select one that says EST. Then you want to change the LLM model. We have a bunch of different options for that. A lot of different GPTs, some Claudes, and some Gemini. What I'd recommend is just using GPT 5.2. It's fairly cheap, fairly good as well. Finally, we have the agent's initial first message. And this is where we control what the agent says when it picks up the phone. So in this instance, it would just say, hey, you've reached Loopy AI. How can I help you today? But I wanted to clarify that it's a support line. So I could just say, you've reached Loopy AI's support line. For example, how can I help you today? Finally, there is one more customization you can make. However, I don't necessarily recommend it. But if you head up to advanced settings and click that, there is a bunch of other settings that you can change, such as maximum call time or idle time reminder frequency, or you can control how different words are pronounced, and you can change the agent behavior, such as how long it takes for the agent to respond, interruption sensitivity, and the LM temperature. The LM temperature basically just covers how creative the agent is, so to speak, so how much it varies in its answers. But as you can see, it says lower value yields better function called results, so you don't want to make it too creative and too loose. Then you can change the transcription and speech settings, so you can set it to fast, accurate, custom. I just recommend keeping it to accurate because that will give you the best response. And you can also create custom pronunciation dictionaries, so if it keeps messing up your business name, for example, you can tell it specifically how it needs to pronounce it. So I could say, maybe it says Loopy or something like that, so you could say, please pronounce it as Loopy. Like this. Finally, there is the voice settings, which cuts out background noise, but I still would just recommend to keep it at remove noise. Finally, this part is something that you might want to change because, as you can see right here, it says background sound. And sometimes when you call these agents, it can enhance the AI feel if there's nothing going on in the background. So you have a couple of different options to give some background sound. You can see it says coffee shop, convention hall, some outdoor, call center. And again, you don't have to do this if you feel like it's unnecessary, but it can add some humanizing feel to it. So for this instance, I'm just going to be selecting coffee shop. It gives me a bunch of different options. As you can see, I can select how loud it is. So I want it to be very subtle but noticeable. So I'm just going to put it at 0.4 for now. You can select how fast the AI speaks. I'm just going to keep this as it is. You can select the voice temperature, and again, this determines how calm and emotional the AI is going to sound, but we want it to be calm. This is a business, so it's not going to be emotional. So we're just going to keep it as is. And finally, the voice volume, you can turn it up and down if you wish. Once you are satisfied with these settings, simply just click confirm down here. And we're good to go. You can see this has not been selected yet, like this. Perfect. This is the whole front end of the agent. Now we need to create the knowledge base. When you click next, you're going to be seeing this window right here. And as you can see, it says select knowledge base right up here. Assuming we don't have one already made, you simply just want to click create new over here. Like this. We're going to be taken to the tab that's called knowledge base. You want to click create new knowledge base, give it a name, so we could say Loopy AI knowledge base. The description just the same thing, doesn't really matter. And we have a bunch of different options. We can web crawl, we can create custom FAQs, we can upload files, and a bunch of other things. What I mainly do is just upload a file with a large FAQ document as context that I've created previously, and also use the web crawler feature to easily scrape a customer's website or get information that way. So head over here to where it says add source, click it, select the web crawler. Then you want to change this to not being exact URL, but all URLs in this domain. And then you want to just head to the website. I'm just going to be using our website. Copy the URL, paste it in right here, and click extract data. This will initiate the crawler process, and this takes maybe around 5 minutes. So in that time, we can create the FAQ file to upload. If you don't have that currently, what I recommend you to do is go to Claude and give it the URL and tell it to, hey Claude, I am currently creating a voice agent for this business called Loopy AI. I have provided you with the URL so you can research it. I need you to create a very detailed FAQ document about this business that is going to be given to the voice AI as a knowledge base. Just click send. And basically, Claude is just going to research this website and come up with a large FAQ document that you can provide to the voice agent. As you can see, it's also fetching all these sites right here. And shortly after, Claude has made this whole complete voice agent knowledge base that we can easily just download right here and provide as information in the agent builder right here. So just click on add source again, click file upload, and then upload the file that you just downloaded. And just click upload files. Now this will also need to just fetch for a couple of minutes maybe. We can check on the web crawler and see if it's done yet. Yes, all pages have been crawled. Then you want to click on view all pages and select the pages that you want the AI to scrape for information. I have both my website in English as well as Danish, so I only really want the English URLs to be copied over. So I can just select the ones that does not have the /DA in the part of the URL. As you can see right here, we don't want this one, so just skip it. Select this one, select this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And the rest should be /DA, yeah. So once we've selected all the pages, just click on train bots right here. Then it needs to train the bot on these pages, and I will be back when it's done. So that took literally 5 seconds. And as we can see, the AI is now trained on all the pages, and the file upload is almost done. Should be done in just a couple of seconds. Perfect. And that's it. Then we can simply just close this tab right here and quickly just refresh this tab right here. And now click on this little field right here. And as we can see, the knowledge base is now here. So simply just click on it and it should be loaded in. Now we have a couple of different options again. As we can see, it says first here, when to use this knowledge base. I wouldn't change this because it's simply just prompted to use the knowledge base when someone asks a question about the business. So this is fine as is. Then it says details to collect from the contact. We want the agent to be able to collect a name, email, and maybe the contact's issue for context, so when a human reviews it, it has more context. We don't really need the address right now. We have the option to trigger a workflow. We're going to skip this part for now. And finally, we can select down here who receives a notification when a call is completed. If, for example, you've created a sub-account for the business you're trying to build this for, you could go to settings and go to my staff and invite them to your sub-account so they have access to it. And whenever a call is completed, instead of you receiving notification, you could select a specific user and select the user down here, so it's only them receiving the notification of the call. This is the very broad view. We could also go to advanced mode, where we'll have a lot of different options and a lot more freedom to change and tweak the different things. So click on where it says switch to advanced mode, and a new window will open up. As you can see, we have the knowledge base right here. It's still the same, should still be the same. Also the little window we talked about before, don't touch that. And then we have the prompt. Now the prompt is the most important thing about this whole voice agent. This is what controls the rules of the agent, how the agent acts and speaks, the guidelines, the goal that it's trying to obtain. This is the most important thing, and we need to make sure that this is completely rock solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be copying this prompt right here, and I'm going to head back into the Claude thread that I had opened before, and I'm just going to paste the prompt in right here, and I'm going to ask it, hey Claude, what I've sent above is the main overall prompt for the voice agent that I'm going to be creating for my business, as you've just created the knowledge base for. I want you to review this prompt and optimize it so that it is perfect for my business. And we just sent this. Shortly after, Claude has now created me a complete system prompt. And I can only recommend that you read through this and really make sure that everything is that you want it to be. For this instance, I'm just going to copy it over right here. Copy everything, head back into GoHighLevel and delete the current prompt and insert the new one. Once you are satisfied with your prompt, we can also change these system prompts, which are the more specific ones. We have access to personality, date and time awareness, numbers and symbol speech rules, and email confirmation process. We can open all these up. If your voice agent is speaking the language English, I would not change anything of this because this is optimized for the English language. It's a bit more sensitive. You can change these if you want, but I'll just keep them as they are for now because genuinely they are very solid. Now to the part where we need to create the actions. We have a couple of different options for this, but click the blue button called New Action, and we can see we can do call transfers, trigger workflows, send SMS, update contact fields, book appointments, and we can also create our own custom actions. For most people, it is enough if the agent can transfer the call to another number and book in new appointments. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for this video. So first, set up the call transfer. We can give it a name, so we can just say call transfer to employee. We can select the number that we want the call to be redirected to. So I would insert my phone number or the business's phone number you're setting this up for. But in this instance, I'm just going to be putting my business's phone number. We can describe when we want the transfer to take place. I want this to be as specific as possible, so I'm just going to be taking a screenshot right here. Head back into Claude, provide it with the screenshot, and tell it to, I am setting up an action for when the agent should call transfer the call to me. I want you to create a very solid and specific instruction on when it needs to do this. Just click send. Let's copy this instead. Should cover it. Delete the current one and insert this. And that is perfect. Now we can choose what the AI should say when it transfers a person. Again, I'm just going to be asking Claude what it thinks we should say right here. So take a screenshot, paste it into Claude. See what it says. Absolutely, let me connect you with one of our team members right away. Just one moment, please. This is solid. Copy that in right here. And that should be it for the call transfer action. Once you're done, just click save. And the AI now has access to this action. So whenever a person wishes to speak with an employee, the AI will transfer over the call to our personal business number. Another action that is very, very powerful is booking appointments. So again, click on new action and select the one that's called appointment booking. Here we have two options. We can either do it for a single calendar or give the agent access to multiple calendars. If you haven't created a calendar already, just come to where it says calendars and go through the process of creating a new calendar over here. For this guide, I'm not going to go into details about how to create a new calendar. It's fairly simple, just follow the instructions, but this is where you're going to find it and do it. Simply just pick the calendar that you want the agent to have access to. I want it to have access to Discover Loop AI. Perfect. Click next. Now we have a bunch of different options again. We can select how many days the agent will suggest whenever suggesting dates for meetings. I want to typically set this between 1 and 2. 2 is like a sweet spot, so I'm going to be selecting 2. We can select how many appointment slots it will book per day. 3 is fine. How many hours in between meetings we want the agent to leave in as a gap. This is for like preparation, so if you want to prepare for every single meeting, you can give yourself time to do that right here. But 1 hour is plenty enough for me. Click save. And the action is already done. Now the agent can book in new meetings into that exact calendar. As mentioned, there are other actions that you can play around with. I'm not going to go over them, but you can, play around with it, see what works. If you want to send custom SMS on the call or anything like that, it's all done over here. I'm pretty happy with this page now, so I'm just simply going to be clicking next. And this takes us to the next step, which is we need to connect the phone number. Now this part can be a little bit tricky if you don't know what you're doing. But we have a couple of different options. We can either buy a phone number and connect that, or we can actually connect our own phone number. For example, if your client already has a customer support line or something like that, we can actually connect that phone number to this process. If you don't already have a number, just come to buy new number, and this will redirect us to this page. If you click on add number up here, you have the option of adding a new phone number, adding a number pool, we're not going to touch that, and add verified call ID. This is what you want to do if you want to verify a different off this platform phone number. Firstly, I'm going to show you what you need to do in order to connect and buy a phone number. Click on add phone number and this little tab will open up. Now you need to ask yourself where your business is located and what number you want to buy accordingly to that. I always recommend that you buy a local phone number to where your business is located. So if you are based in Belgium, for example, you could say search for Belgium up here and it will provide you with the phone numbers for Belgium. Some countries are not on this list. So if your country is not on this list, choose a neighboring country that does have a number, or go with something that is recognizable. For example, an American number. Just remember that fees and stuff apply, so if you pick a number that is overseas, it might hurt your customers' pockets. Just for your information, so have that in mind when you buy a phone number. As you can see, phone numbers can be pretty expensive based on where you are around the world. For this guide, I'm just going to be going with the American phone number since this is the English line. American phone numbers are extremely cheap. Let's say I just want this one from Marshall in Ohio. I would simply just click this little hard to see checkbox right here and click proceed to buy. And you will have ownership of the number and you can do with it as you will. If you want to use this number to send SMS and it's locally inside the US, you need to register for A2P registration. Again, I'm not going to go over this, but you can definitely find YouTube guides on how to do this on YouTube. I want to also cover quickly what you need to do if you want to connect an external number to GoHighLevel. You want to click on add verified call ID and you want to enter the phone number. It is important that you get the number code straight as well. So if it's a Danish number, you want to say +45. If it's an American phone number, you want to say +1. And then write out the phone number in the format of this right here. So no spaces, no dashes, no nothing. Clean like this. Once you do that, a phone number will call your phone and you'll have a code on your screen. On the phone call, you're going to be asked about this code to verify the phone number and the connection, and you just have to provide that code to the caller, and the verification should be solid. And again, I'm sure you can find a more detailed guide on how to do this on YouTube. If you've done it correctly, you should be able to just select your phone number right here. And one final thing that we're able to do is that we're able to control if the AI should pick up the phone all the time or only after hours, for example. In my experience, it works a lot better if you just set it up for after hours calls so that no call is ever missed. Many business owners prefer to pick up the phone themselves, especially if it's a local business, because, well, they don't really get that many calls. But it's still valuable for them if the AI can pick up the phone when the business is closed down for the day. If you want to set a system up like that, you could say enable AI agent as a backup to the phone number/number pool, and then you want to set the working hours for the agent. Just click on the check mark right here besides Monday, and you want to select the hours that the agent should pick up the phone. So what we want to do is we want to say, okay, well, our AI should pick up the phone from 4 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. right there. And then we can add another time zone for the agent to pick up the phone. So we could say, okay, well, 12 a.m. to, then that would be 7:59 a.m. So now the agent will pick up the phone from 4 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. and from 12 a.m. to 7:59 a.m., which are the closed down hours of the business. If we want to copy this to every single day, just click on the like 2 squares down right here and just copy all to all days right here. Click apply. Just like that, our agent will only pick up the phone in these time zones from 4 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. and from 12 a.m. to 7:59 a.m. And from 8 a.m. to 3:59 p.m. the agent won't pick up the phone and the call will be directly sent to the business owner, or me in this case. We are actually done now with setting up the whole agent. But many people jump this part, and this is where it gets wrong. What you want to do now is that you want to test the agent thoroughly to make sure everything responds as you want it to. You have 20 minutes to do this in a web call freely for every agent every day. If you run out of time with speaking with it, you can also test it over the phone. Gets a little bit more expensive, but you can test it over here. So let's call it up and let's hear how it sounds.
Hey, you have reached Loopy AI's customer support. How can I help you today?
Hey there. I'm just a little bit confused about how lead reactivation works. Can you shortly summarize it for me?
Got it. Lead reactivation is basically us helping you get value from leads you already paid for. We connect to your old leads, typically in your CRM. Then the AI follows up via SMS, email, or DMs in a natural tone, handles replies, and qualifies who's interested versus not. When someone's ready, it offers times and books a meeting directly into your calendar, and you can track all conversations and outcomes. Want it to focus only on qualification, no booking? Or should it book meetings too?
Yeah, it should, but I think I want to get on a meeting and talk with the owners about this. Is that possible?
Sure, that's possible. Here are a few available meeting times. Monday, the 2nd of March at 9 a.m. Monday, the 2nd of March at 11 a.m. Monday, the 2nd of March at 1 p.m. Which one should I book for you?
11 a.m. sounds good. I'm actually pretty happy with the result already, but just go back and forth, test it, change it, tweak it, ask Claude, ask ChatGPT to help you in this process. Also, quickly worth mentioning, if it's a large company you're setting this up for, you could upgrade to the AI Unlimited plan that costs $100 a month, and that gets you unlimited usage on these voice agents. Let's say your agent is handling a lot of calls each month, and it costs you well over $100 in service fees. You might want to consider buying this fixed fee plan at $100 a month. Just wanted to let you know that that is a possibility. Once you're satisfied with it, let's talk about deployment and handing over the agent. A lot of you guys asked me in the previous video about how to hand over these agents. And as much as I'd like to sit here and say it's very easy and you just need to give it to them and then you're out of the loop, unfortunately that is not the case. You are going to be involved in this process until the partnership ends, which means you're going to be managing how the agent responds, testing it and tweaking it for the business owners. This process is a partnership. It's not a software fee that they pay every single month. You need to be involved, unfortunately. But as I mentioned previously, if you're creating this for a client, you want to create a sub-account in GoHighLevel. And you can call it XYZ Business, whatever the name is. You want to invite them, as I showed you how to do previously, to that sub-account and give them insight on, for example, the dashboard. If you come over to into the agent tab and go over to where it says dashboard and logs, you're able to track the calls, the triggers, the overall positivity about the calls, and completed calls are going to be showing up down here, so you can track every single call, listen to it, see the transcription, giving transparency to your client. As I mentioned, this is not something you just hand over, this is a partnership. So once you've connected the phone number and everything that we went over previously, you will have essentially handed over the agent to them because everything is live. So to summarize, essentially you will have handed over the agent to them when the phone numbers are connected successfully and the agent is finished. To be an even better partner, I would invite them to a sub-account, giving them access to see logs and statistics and data and tracking how everything is running on the end of the agent. And that should be everything about how we create voice agents. I'm going to be linking to GoHighLevel and Claude down below so you can use those tools if you wish. Also, if you have any questions, please just drop them down below in the comments and I'll make sure to answer every single one of them as best as I can. But for now, see you guys later.